1. Tangshan earthquake 1976. At 3:42 a.m. on July 28, 1976, a magnitude 7.8 earthquake shook the city of Tangshan in China and surrounding areas. Tangshan, an industrial city with a population of more than 1 million, statistics show that this case of natural disasters killed 255,000 people in the region and injured 700,000 people. Tangshan buildings are said to have been completely demolished, and within 6 years of the accident, 150,000 injured people received new housing. 2. Earthquake of Antioch 526. As in the first case on the list, little is known about the Antioch earthquake that occurred in present-day Turkey in 526. However, in the memoirs of a man named John Malalas, it is mentioned that a strong earthquake that occurred in May of that year killed about 250,000 people. Malalas attributed the natural disaster to the wrath of God, saying that the fires destroyed everything that destroyed the earthquake. However, in 2007 an article was published stating that due to the celebration of Jesus' ascension to heaven and the large number of tourists, the casualties were much higher than expected. 3. Tornado Corniga 1839. On November 25, 1839, a tornado struck the Indian port city of Coringa, creating waves 12 meters high, completely destroying some 20,000 ships and boats, and killing 300,000. According to the NOAA Storm and Oceanography Research Division. Of course, about 4 decades after this incident, on October 8, 1881, a similar catastrophe occurred in Haiphong, Vietnam, which reportedly caused the same number of casualties. But little is known about this deadly natural disaster in human history. 4. Tornado 1970. Another massive hurricane that killed tens of thousands of people near India was Hurricane Bola, which struck on November 12, 1970 in present-day Bangladesh, causing devastating floods. A year after the incident, the National Hurricane Center and the Pakistan Department of Geology confirmed that it was not possible to accurately estimate the death toll, as thousands of workers were flocking to the area to harvest rice. 5. Shaanxi earthquake 1556. The most devastating and deadliest earthquake in history on January 23, 1556, shook the northern province of Shaanxi. The Chinese Museum of Science says the quake, also known as the Jiajing Great Earthquake, has raised an area of 1,000 square kilometers. It is estimated that approximately 830,000 residents of the area lost their lives due to the destruction of houses and fires caused by this disaster. The exact magnitude of the quake is not yet known, but some geologists say the quake had a magnitude of about 8 on the Richter scale. 6. Yellow River Flood 1887. According to what has been narrated, the Yellow River of China, also known as Huanghe, rose to great heights in the 1980s due to various dams and waterways, thus irrigating the agricultural lands of central China more easily. It seems that over time, the accumulation of mud caused the water level behind the dams to rise much higher than it was, and with heavy rains in September 1887, water flowed down the dam to the ground. The natural disaster is said to have flooded about 12,949 square kilometers of surrounding areas, killing 900,000 people. 7. Central China 1931. And the last item on the list of natural disasters that some have called the deadliest natural disaster in human history is the floods that devastated central China in 1931. In July and August of that year, the melting of winter snow in the spring with heavy rains caused the water of the Yangtze River reaches an extremely high level and floods about 180,000 square kilometers of surrounding areas along rivers such as the Huanghe. Unfortunately, exact figures for this catastrophic disaster are not available, and while the government put the death toll at around 2 million, NOAA reports indicate that more than 3.7 million people lost their lives in this terrible flood. 8. The ancient city of Pompeii was destroyed by Mount Vesuvius. The city and all its inhabitants, who could not pull themselves out of the thick gray layer of the volcano, were buried under the volcano of this mountain. The bodies of the dead were decomposed. The bodies inside the volcano's ashes were emptied, and later archaeologists filled them with plaster and dug them. Eventually, strange molds emerged that made Pompeii famous. But the volcano retained things from advanced plumbing to carved murals. The excavations revealed details inside the ashes, which included first aid at home, small barbecues and snacks. 9. Tuaganz in Arizona. Tuaganz is located in the western cities of the United States. According to the atlas, Tuaganz was nothing more than a few scattered farms before 1920. It all started in 1920, when Route 66 became an adventure passenger stop. An entrepreneur named Harry Miller rented the town, turning it into a small zoo and tourist area. One of the attractions was the valley where the Apache warriors and the Navajo people fought. There was a cave in that valley where the Apaches were buried. Miller sold the Apache skulls to tourists. Miller later killed the owner of the land he had rented from him, but Miller was incredibly acquitted at trial. Miller returned from Earth in 1929 after a fire. 10. Salton Riviera Salton Sea in California. When the Salton Sea came into being by chance in 1905, people were amazed and considered it a miracle. As a result of an accident, the Colorado River overflowed into a previously dried-up lake in southeastern California. As a result, it was renamed the Salton Sea and became a tourist attraction in California. But decades later, the Salton Sea caused a catastrophe. Because the sea had no outlet, the presence of excess salt and agricultural offspring caused the death of fish and the accumulation of large masses of their carcasses, making it an environmental disaster. People living in buildings near the sea left, and local authorities decided to dry up the Salton Sea.